A very warm welcome. You're watching a brand new episode of Melt with me, Ritvika Gupta. Today, brands all over the world are figuring out how to connect with consumers in this new normal we are living in. Consumer behavior has rapidly changed over the last few months, and there is a growing need for businesses to understand how these behavioral patterns impact brands. Anant Rangaswamy, editor of Melt, has been talking to Gitanjali Ghate and Jasmeet Kaur Srivastav, co-founders and managing directors at Third Eye Integrated Services, about their observations on changing consumer attitudes due to the pandemic. Gitanjali is also a psychologist, and their firm specializes in consumer insighting and research. To better understand how the shifts in consumer sentiments can be met by brands, Anand chats with them today. But before diving into the conversation, he is letting you know that the interview today was recorded on Zoom. Apologies for the patchy stream. On that note, let's get ready to melt with Gitanjali Ghate and Jasmeet Kaur Srivastav.
So, Jasmeet and Geeta, good to talk to you.
Thank you for having us,
Thank you.
Anant.
Thanks, Anand.
Yeah. So, before I come to the changes in the consumer, and your premise is that the narrative is changing from aspiration to anxiety. So I thought before we come to the consumer, we'll talk about the human being. So Geeta, tell me about the changes in the human being.
Thanks, Anant. So as a psychologist, it's actually very interesting to look at how COVID has actually shifted our entire perspective as human beings and obviously as consumers. So aspiration is a very uplifting discourse. It's a very optimistic discourse. People, when you are in an aspirational framework, you're looking at many different wants and desires and you're going out and getting them and you're feeling really good about yourself. Then something like COVID happens and suddenly there's a break on this aspiration. And it happens in a moment. It's not something that you can get used to. And you switch gears immediately and you move from aspiration to anxiety. And anxiety is a really negative, as we all know, and we've experienced it as people at different points in time in our lives. It's a very negative feeling and you want to desperately get out of it. Now, what COVID has actually done is, both in terms of the continuity and the quantum of anxiety. So that's the other thing. It's not like it happens and then you walk out of it. It's constant, it's continuous. People are watching the news all the time and getting even more anxious about it. What do we as human beings do? We actually then adopt what psychologists call coping mechanisms to deal with this anxiety, to alleviate this anxiety. And you begin to see these coping mechanisms in the choices that we make going forward. And you see them as human beings and as consumers.
Right. So now, Jasmeet, you in the conversations that we've had preparatory to today's interview, you've spoken about a lot of symbols and mechanisms
Yes.
which come to represent the changing consumer, or maybe today's consumer. I won't even say changing because we don't know how long this will last.
Yes, yes.
So the first one you spoke about were there will be a sort of reliance on symbols of trust and familiarity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So take me through that.
Sure. So to take on from what Geeta was saying, there are many coping mechanisms that we as consumers are displaying, we as researchers are observing consumers go through. And the first of that is the comfort that consumers are today getting from figures of familiarity and faith, symbols of familiarity and faith. So whether it's the fact that there is a brand like Parle G, which has had unprecedented sales in the last 8 years, not because of an affordable price point, but because it's a symbol of familiarity and faith. And consumers and marketeers have repeatedly called it a comfort food. So what you're seeing is a representation of that kind of familiarity, faith that gives the consumer the trust to buy into a brand like that. While that's a brand, we're also seeing a lot of the local heroes rise in the form of the Kirana Walas. And that's again coming from familiarity and my faith. I trust my local neighborhood Kirana Wala. I've known him for years. I've had a long relationship with him. So even though I have doorstep delivery through e-commerce, I don't know where the delivery boy is gone. I don't know where he's coming from. So my Kirana guy, I know, I trust. And he's also upped his safety mechanism. So he's also mandated the masks and the sanitizers and the social distancing. And he takes my order on the phone. So that's the faith and familiarity that a local Kirana Wala is giving me. So these are the kind of symbols that we are seeing emerge on this front. There are actually many more examples as well.
In this area, you also spoke about the importance of familiarity with origins. So expand on that for a bit.
Sure. So when we are saying origins, it's about saying that if I know the local source, where it's come from, and we're hearing a lot of vocal for local and Atmanirbhar, and all about made in India and things like that. The interesting things over here is that is not just about nationalism and pride in India. It's actually also about the fact that because it's coming from something that I am familiar with in my locality or in my origin or origin of source, I actually feel more confident and comfortable using something like that. If you see, there's a sudden surge in the whole age-old ingredients of haldi and ginger and turmeric milk, so much so that the brands are actually launching haldi doodh or turmeric shots or ginger immunity boosters. So whether it's Amul or you see Chawanprash, Dabur, these are all local brands and source of origins coming both from the heritage of these being Indian brands, as well as the fact that they are dipping into the age-old science of Ayurveda, which is core to India. And that's what's really leveraging the sales that are going through the roof for both these brands.
Right. Before I go to Geeta now, the last sort of subhead in this category, you were talking about the rise of mythology serials again.
Yes,
the kind of
yes.
entertainment that consumers are going to.
Yes. So it's very interesting, Anant. The faith is not restricted only to heritage brands or to the age-old science of Ayurveda. You actually see how mythology serials are, knocking up like very high TRPs or very high viewership ratings. And what started by Doordarshan as a stopgap measure, because there was no fresh programming happening, they started doing reruns of Mahabharata and Ramayana. But what happened was that for the Indian family and the Indian consumer, it became a space to come together and seek solace and comfort from these kind of mythology serials, which is giving them that sense of hope, calm in this time of despair.
Right.
In fact, you're not only seeing it in television, you're seeing these kind of contents go on OTT. You're seeing more searches for Hanuman Chalisa. You're seeing webinars by Shimaru, who's doing Bhagavad Gita classes. So all that is happening.
Right. So Geeta, I'll come to you, and the next sort of subhead for you was figures of authority, where you spoke about expertise, the scientists, the engineers, and so on. So tell me more about our reliance now on figures of authority.
So I'll give it to you both from a consumer and a psychological angle, because I think that is interesting. So in a time of crisis, when I really don't know what is coming next and there's unpredictability, a figure of authority actually helps me feel a sense of control. So if you look at a scientist today, because there is an epidemic, a scientist, a doctor, epidemiologist, lab coats, the whole role of science, which is the other interesting part. So till COVID happened to us, India was actually celebrating Ayurveda. While we are still celebrating it as immunity boosters, the authority is coming from science today. So you're beginning to, in some sense, feel, to borrow what Jasmeet was saying, a sense of calm and a sense of control through figures of authority, voices of authority that actually are beginning to tell us that everything will be okay. And the interesting thing here, Anant, is the fact that the consumer does not know where the end of the tunnel lies. So who do you look for in a time like this? You look for somebody who you believe knows infinitely more than you do, and who you believe in some sense will actually be the hero who will take you out of this dark time. So it's actually, in some sense, a figure of authority is somebody who either commands and commands. So you can see a lot of leaders saying we command, or they are people who are experts who control. So authority really is between this command and control mechanism that makes the consumer feel a greater sense of confidence.
Right.
And that's really where it comes from.
Jasmeet, in addition to figures of authority, what your experience or studies show that people are going back to, symbols of ritual, symbols of comfort, routine, and so on and so forth, as a sort of coping mechanism, one more coping mechanism. So just tell me a little more about that.
Rituals and routines actually become mechanisms to deal with this disruption, and they offer the continuity and constancy that a human mind seeks. So in fact, I'm actually going to step into Geeta's territory for a minute and say that even psychologists and people like mental health professionals recommend the use of rituals and routines to cope with uncertain times and unpredictable measures. And we are already seeing a lot of surge of health rituals, hygiene rituals, and, it's all around us. We are doing them ourselves. So whether it's again, we were talking about the immunity boosters that we are doing, whether it's the exercise that we've integrated as a routine and a ritual into our lives, or even as a preventive measure, we started drinking kadas. We're starting gargling with salt and turmeric. Dabur has launched an immunity kit. And the thing about a kit is that there's 6 things in it, and that again ritualizes the usage of it. And a consumer gets comfort from doing things repeatedly, and that's what really becomes a source of control and comfort in times of uncertainty. What started out like how-to videos on how to handle groceries when we take them into the house and store them have now become the new normal. And again, brands like Savlon are really leveraging on it. In the last 12 weeks or so, they've launched as many as 6 brand extensions. So whether it's the surface sanitizer spray, or they've got the germ wipes, or they've even launched a body sanitizer. It's a body wash, but it's a Savlon body sanitizer. They've launched a sachet, which is only 50 paisa, which is a sachet sanitizer. So they're all looking at these hygiene rituals that the consumers are displaying and immediately leveraging them for their own brands.
So Geeta, one thing that popped out in that abstract note that you sent me was part of this is also, the symbols of esteem will give way to safety, even as far as information is concerned. So take me through that.
Yeah. So I think what is interesting is if you look at, and one of the big places where it will play out, Anant, is in quality. So if you look at it in the entire esteem discourse that consumers had, upgradation was a really important part of it. So what in terms of upgrade, how I upgrade, and therefore that's the badge I wear. However, today, how safe I am and how cautious I am and how cautious a brand is will become the new badge. So even safety safety and quality will actually become the new badges, and pledges of safety will also become the new badges, which will in some sense reassure consumers across the board.
So are we going to see new things written on packaging, for example, with more information to help the consumer understand what it is?
Yes. You'll have new things written on it. You will have, for instance, when Swiggy tells you very clearly, and Zomato, that if you look at it, they actually have thermal logs, temperature logs for the delivery boys. So you will begin to see many protocols in place, but they will all be safety protocols. So to what Jasmeet was saying about ritualization, one part of it is the ritualization that consumers have. 2 is what are the safety protocols that brands have. And whether the more safety protocols you have and the more pledges of safety you have, the more I say this is a better brand. So in some sense, the entire language and narrative of brands will also begin to change. Right. So safety will become the new quality.
Right. So Jasmeet, in continuation with the need for safety as opposed to status and so on, you've spoken also about information will be the new insurance.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So can you expand that for me and say,
sure.
Why will the consumer today want more information?
So again, when you're in a state of uncertainty and unpredictability, the more I'm forearmed and I'm forewarned, the more in control I feel. So if you again look at all the data that's going around us, there's been a huge surge in Google searches, and the kind of search topics that are being gone to by the consumers is about how to repair, how to do things on my own, how to cook. That's recipes, or it's DIY, or it's exercise routines, or the fact that maids have not been coming and therefore I have to do a lot of things on my own, or it's even for my own way of building myself. So learning videos, things like that have seen as much as an 85% search in the Google search thing. Because if I believe I know how to deal with something, I believe that I'll be able to handle. While I don't know where the end of it is, it's uncertain, but forewarned is forearmed.
Right. So now we're coming to the sort of the bottom half of your study. And you said consumers, I'm going to first ask Jasmeet and come to you, Geeta, look for, little bits of hope and encouragement. So how will that translate into how brands talk to consumers?
Sure. So, like you're saying, there's this whole thing of care, concern, caution. This is the overriding narrative even in the consumer's mind today. But consumers, while they will cut down on big spends and big indulgences, they will look for a little bit of a cheer, a little bit of a ray of sunshine to bring some, light or some brightness into our lives today. And that's where the way a brand communicates and even what kind of brand initiatives they take will help. So you will actually see that while the big spends may go down, small indulgences, treats, small joys, candies, chocolates, these kind of categories will see, because these are the leeways that the consumers will give themselves. Similarly, in the way brands are talking to, so whether you see Cadbury's brands, the kind of narratives that they have in their communication, or a brand like Sunfeast, dark chocolate, the dark fantasy. They have an online brand called Frozen Bottle, which is into online desserts, and they are trying to bring bite-sized frozen desserts into the market, all made with dark fantasy biscuits. So there are cakes in jars, there are milkshakes, there are sundaes, these kind of things. So these are the kind of things that brands will actually benefit from, because there is that little cheer and sunshine that everybody looks for, and brands, through both what they are doing and how they're communicating with the consumer, will bring this in.
Right. So before I sort of indulge myself with a few questions which have arisen out of the discussions we've had, tell me about, Geeta, tell me, you've been saying that reassurance is going to be very, very important for the consumer. So tell me about how we've got the move from aspiration to anxiety as one, and therefore at the other end, you have a greater need for reassurance.
Absolutely. So if you look at it in terms of human need states, and you look at aspiration in the classic paradigm, esteem was the reward that I got when I aspired for something. Movement was a reward that I got. Progress was a reward that I got. Now in an anxiety discourse, reassurance is the reward that I want. It's the base reward that I want. So if you sell me a fancy car, but you don't have a sanitizer put there, and you don't tell me the kind of safety protocols that have actually gone into making this car, I'm not going to buy it. So today, reassurance becomes the base value. Every marketer will need to first reassure the consumer. Tell them that we are okay, and through us, you are okay. And once you do that, then you can give me any other layered reward. But the foundations for a long time to come, till COVID leaves us, will need to be reassured. And it's interesting, Anand, because it's not only as consumers, you look around you, as human beings, we can see that need for reassurance in everything, whether it's in what we eat, whether it's in the way we wash our vegetables, it's in the way we talk to people. And, it's fascinating to see how this whole reward narrative has shifted. And we are looking at reassurance as the most fundamental thing that we will reach out for.
Right. Jasmeet, the last question before I say my goodbyes to both of you. I interviewed R.S. Sodhi a few days ago from Amul, and I asked him, what is the cost of improving all your sanitization features and health and so on and so forth? And he told me it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is that a line that brands and companies are going to take, that it doesn't matter? But to go on to what Geeta was saying, reassurance is so important that the cost doesn't matter.
Absolutely, because it's not a cost, Anand, it's an investment. It's right. An investment into the future, because if I don't do that today, I will not actually be able to deal with the times that are coming ahead of me. So it's an essential, it's not just a cost. It's actually an essential investment that I'm doing to deal with the today and the tomorrow.
So thank you, Geeta and Jasmeet. I think we'll speak again in as early as 6 weeks from now, because things are changing so dramatically that you might have new things to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Anand. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks.
And that was Gitanjali and Jasmeet giving us a better idea of how the pandemic has altered consumer behavior and what this could mean for brands and industries at large. Here's a look at the Melt cheat sheet. Consumers are seeking comfort in brands that are symbols of familiarity and faith. This includes a familiar origin of source, such as heritage brands and Made in India brands. Consumers are more likely to connect with brands that reassure safety and quality. In these uncertain times, consumers prefer brands that provide learning and information. Consumers are also attracted to brands that express cheer and joy. Well, on that note, let's move to our next segment, Creative Picks. My first pick of the week is WhatsApp's global brand campaign in India called It's Between You. There are 2 ads in this series that highlight how WhatsApp's features help replicate in-person conversations and bring people closer. Directed by Gauri Shinde, both ads convey that physical distance doesn't necessarily mean emotional detachment. Over the years, WhatsApp has largely changed the way all of us communicate, And I feel it's not easy to translate that feeling of intimacy on screen. But these ads manage to strike an emotional chord. Take a look. Next, we have Coca-Cola's global ad that shows how people across the world are tucking into a series of home-cooked meals with a bottle or a glass of Coca-Cola. The ad features 13 real families from Lisbon, London, Mumbai, Shanghai, and more. From homemade dim sums to fried puris, the ad highlights how Coca-Cola as a brand fits in beautifully with families and meals across the world. The film also projects a certain sense of comfort about Coke's connection to food and people. It's beautiful and creates a unifying sentiment.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. Lost together, we discovered ourselves again. And we realized that the things that matter deserve time.
For two.
From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates. Because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there. And they never tasted this good.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of Melt. To follow us on social media, our handle is Ready to Melt. You can also stay informed on what's happening in the world of advertising and marketing with our daily Melt update on our website, readytomelt.com. And I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Goodbye.